This is the quick start guide for the Excel Skills Service-Based Accounting template. Our service-based accounting template enables users to record income and expenses and automatically produces a trial balance, income statement, cash flow statement, and balance sheet. Let's start with the template setup. So the first section on the setup sheet contains some business information. The business name is used as a heading at the top of all the sheets, and the business address and sales tax and business registration numbers are used on the invoice sheet and statement sheet. So the first financial year needs to be specified in this cell. This basically never changes. This is from the date that you start using the template, and your first day is determined according to this cell and the year and month that you select. The reporting year will initially be the same, but you can use the reporting year to roll the template forward for the next financial year. So the first financial year will never change. The reporting year can be changed to go into a new financial year. And when you enter a new year in a cell, the reporting periods on the other sheets in the template are automatically adjusted. The next section is the sales tax section, where you can specify a sales tax code and percentages. So if you want to add, you can change the percentages here, and if you want to add more sales tax code, just insert a row and enter the code description or percentage. Bank accounts, we provide for 3 bank accounts, a petty cash account and a default GL journal account. If you want to add additional bank accounts, you can insert a row, enter a new code and description, and copy the formula in the staker sheets. This just indicates whether you have added the new bank account correctly to the TB sheet and then on the balance sheet. Banking details, this is included on your invoice, the text at the bottom. You can enter anything here to put a message to your customers on the invoice. Input error codes, these standard error codes might be encountered when you process transactions. So we just provide this for information purposes so that you can easily see the reason of a quorum error code. The next step, once you've gone through the setup, is to capture your opening balances on the Kiwi sheet. So your opening balances are included in column C. You'll see at the bottom of the sheet that there's a number of control accounts. Now these control accounts, the opening balances for them cannot be entered here because the amounts need to be calculated. So with bank accounts and your try-getters, you'll record your opening balances on the income sheet. And with trade creditors, you record your opening balance on the expenses sheet. Retained earnings is entered here but calculated for subsequent periods. You also don't need to enter any opening balances for income statement accounts because we only allow users to include full financial years in the template. So you must start on the first day of a new financial year. Okay, your trial balance amounts are automatically calculated from column E to G, and in column H there's an indication if the account is linked on a group basis or on an individual account basis. If an account is linked on a group basis, it means that all the accounts in the group are summarized into one line. Account basis means that individual accounts are included in the reports. You can select your appropriate month for the trial balance year, and the calculations are automatically adjusted. So these columns are automatically calculated. If you want to insert a new account, you would insert a new line, enter an account number here and the account description, and then copy the formulas from one of the existing lines. So just note that if you insert new accounts, you also need to insert them in the appropriate financial report Usually, like with the expenses section, you'll just go and insert them on the income statement. Okay, so once you've done your setup, you can go to your customer sheet and enter unique codes for each of your customers into their billing name, billing address, and sales tax reference number. And then the columns with light blue column headings contain formulas, which are automatically extended when you insert rows in the sheet. The balance dike at the top of the sheet you can enter a balance dike here, and then you can view a aging for all your customer accounts based on that date. Okay, the next sheet is the income sheet. So all the columns with yellow column headings contain user input, and the light blue columns contain formulas. You enter all income. You start, as I mentioned before, by including your opening balances. The opening balances will need to be backed on the last day of the financial year that precedes the first financial year. Once you've entered your opening balances, you can basically start entering transactions. So you need to enter a unique invoice number in column A, or a receipt if it's not something that you're invoicing. Invoice dates. All dates must be entered by some of your regional date settings. You can select a customer code from that list box. All the customers' codes that have been created on the customer sheet will be available for selection. Enter a description, then a tax inclusive amount. Then you select a sales tax code. All the sales tax codes which have been created on the setup sheet will be available for selection. Select a bank code. All the bank codes that have been created on the setup sheet will be available, and then you select an account number. Now, all your account numbers that are listed on the TV sheet will be available for selection. You'll see this green triangle in the top left corner. That basically means that there's a data validation error. This is by design and can safely be ignored. What we've done is we've included both the account number and the description in the drop-down list. Excel doesn't actually allow for two columns to be implemented, but we've added the description to make account selection easier. You can refer to our support section of our YouTube channel for a video on how to remove the descriptions if you wish to do so. When you initially enter transactions, the payment amount and payment date fields will be left blank. You only enter a dike and an amount when the customer pays the invoice. This then removes the amount from trade debtors and allocates it to the bank account. Okay, the next sheet is the invoice sheet. So all you need to do on the invoice sheet is enter an invoice number as entered on the income sheet. The rest of the sheet is automatically populated based on the details that are entered on the income sheet, and then the banking details on the setup sheet and the customer details on the customer sheet. Okay, your next sheet is a statement sheet. So on a statement sheet, you select a customer code and you enter a statement date. And all the other details are automated. There's an aging, and then all outstanding invoices at the statement date will be listed here. The statement is compiled on an open item basis, which means that it doesn't include account movements. It only shows outstanding amounts. The next sheet is the expenses sheet. So all expense transactions must be entered on this sheet by entering a document date, supplier, reference, description, tax inclusive amount, select bigger sales tax code and a bank code, and selecting an account number. Initially, the payment date will be left blank, and as soon as you pay an expense, you enter a payment date here. You can also enter a balance date at the top of the sheet if you want to display your trade creditors at any given date. Okay, so you can also use the expenses sheet to enter bank transfers between two bank accounts. As indicated here, you have a positive and a negative amount. between the two bank codes, and all transfers need to be allocated to the cash transfer control account. So you can always check that that account balance is 0 if all transfers have been recorded correctly. Other entries that can be recorded here are journal entries. So also you enter both sides of the entry, a positive and a negative value, and you allocate to the appropriate account. And we recommend using the JC bank code. So you can always check that your JC bank account has a 0 balance if your journals have been calculated or allocated correctly. Okay, the next sheet is the income statement. It's fully automated. Now user input is required on this sheet. The next sheet after that is a cash flow statement, which is also fully automated. Now user input is required on this sheet. Then you have a balance sheet, also fully automated. Now user input required. There's a status at the bottom, which indicates that your balance sheet balances and whether your cash balances balance to your cash flow statement. Then there's a bank sheet where you can select a bank code at the top of the sheet and select a month, and the rest of the sheet is automatically updated. It gives you a daily balance for that particular bank account, and then also a monthly account movement and balances. The last sheet is a sales tax sheet, so you can select a sales tax code at the top of the sheet, or you can leave it blank to view calculations for all sales tax codes. And that's basically it. So if you want more guidance on the template, you can view our detailed instructions sheet, and you can also visit our support section of our YouTube channel to view videos that we post based on user feedback.